Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here. In this video, I will be going over the Q&A that was released today. And right off the bat, there was some exciting news released at the end. They started off by showing us the trailer for 7.2, and it was a pretty cool trailer. It wasn't the best I've ever seen, to be honest, but it was pretty cool. But after that, they let us know that the 7.2 release date is next week, this next Tuesday, March 28th. I was very surprised by that. I thought it was still a few weeks out. Obviously, it does not coincide with the raid release for Tomb of Sargeras, just the patch release, and so we'll be able to get started on the new Broken Shore stuff and all the new content, new class mounts, new artifact, everything, starting next week. So get prepared to do that. Um, Other than that, now that was the most exciting news. I wanted to put that first, but I took a lot of notes here. I'll try to go fast through this because I took so many notes here. And again, I am reading off of my own notes that I wrote down, so I apologize if it sounds like I'm just monotonely reading. First, they asked about since Kara is going to be a Mythic Plus available in the patch. Someone asked about Nightbane. Nightbane will not be available in the Mythic Plus version. He won't even be there. Not just the mount. The boss itself won't be there. They asked a question about what lessons were learned from previous patches or previous expansions when they add zones at that towards the last patch. The big thing he commented on is that rare bosses will be up for a longer time, but you can only kill them once a day. So before you would kill a boss or whatever, I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that. If it's just player specific or what, like the boss is there for you but not someone else who already killed it, but they're going to be up for like a half hour, I think he said. So bosses will be up for a longer period of time. That means you can get there and kill it, and I'm assuming kind of what I said. So if the first group gets there and kills it, a second group can come and it'll still be there for them. Another thing they asked about 7.2 solo content, it was a guy asking kind of a casual player about, because he likes to quest. He asked if it's going to be as big as Suramar quest content, and basically no. There's a lot of solo content to do, but it's not quest lines and it's not very super lore based. It's more of your order hall kind of stuff and just kind of repelling the Legion forces. That's kind of it. More of the Isle of Cold Nas if you played in BC, kind of more like that really. Artifact appearance class mounts time gated was the question. Artifact appearances can be started right as 7.2 launches, so next week, and class mounts won't be available to use for 11 weeks because it's an 11-week campaign, but you do start that campaign right as 7.2 releases. So again, there's a lot to do with the start of 7.2. Then they had another general class mount question. Basically what he said out of this was that each class they tried to build a fantasy, and so like a paladin is going to have a different experience than a mage, or he used like demon hunter and monk as two different, they're not going to have the same fantasy, same experience. Are all class mount rewards the same? No, they're trying to make them all somewhat unique. So some classes actually get a battle pet as well and others do not. So some people will be all upset about that, but I'm sure there'll be different rewards for every class and a cooler quest line for certain classes. So maybe the ones with I'm sure the paladins are going to have a pretty cool one, just because they typically always do. And we might not get as cool of a reward, but we might have a better experience. Will there be class focus on the Broken Shore? The questionnaire was kind of like talking about how demon hunters were everywhere in the Broken Isles, but you're like, I'm paladin, so like there weren't just paladins around helping out. Basically, yes. Every class will be roughly equally participating. For example, NPCs will kind of be specific to you. Kind of think in your garrison how you could set your garrison guards to be from a certain city. It's kind of like that. So while it might be something for a different class, they'll be the same NPC there, but you'll be seeing it through the eyes of a paladin instead of the eyes of a warlock. How long will Pathfinder Part 2 take? So how long will it take to get flying? The minimum is 2 weeks. You need to be revered with the new faction, have the assaults, and explore the Broken Shore, basically. There might be another requirement, obviously Part 1 of Pathfinder, but the reason why it will at least take 2 weeks is because the assaults, I think he said, were not released until the second week. How difficult will the solo challenge be for the unique skins? So if you don't know, there's going to be a solo challenge. So kind of think Brawler's Guild, I would say. And when you complete this solo challenge quest line or whatever, you'll unlock a new artifact appearance. And that artifact appearance basically means you're a badass because it's supposed to be really hard, especially if you get it early on as opposed to later on in the patch. Um, so they're tuned to be challenging on purpose. He said if you're a master of your class, have the gear, you might be able to do it like the first day. Maybe. He said he said he wants to say no, but he knows that there's going to be players that do it because if there's a will, there's a way. I'm intending to be one of those players. I have good enough gear, and I think I'm a good enough player, so I'm actually going to try to get like world first or something. I doubt I will. I know there's people that way out gear me, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. Are the weapon skins unlocked per spec or all at once? Per spec, so you're going to have to do it 3 times. And the example they kind of used was if you kind of suck at healing, but you're good at DPS, why would you get the healing unlocked? You either need to be good at healing to unlock it, or you need to practice that. Will all players, even not top end players, eventually be able to do it? They're going to nerf it as they go, and they'll make it easier with more gear and power, but there's no guarantee that you'll get it. It will never just be a complete walkthrough, at least that's not their goal. There are plans to counter the power loss from 54 traits to 35. What about health? That's nearly 700k health. The first trait you unlock is a 10% damage and health, so their goal is that you don't get weaker in any way whatsoever. Will Jaina be back? Not in 7.2. She'll have kind of her own story sequence. So they said that they didn't want to kind of muddle her up with the Illidan, Valen, Khadgar, that kind of thing. Maeve, Shadow Song. So they kind of want that'll be later when she comes back, and she'll kind of have her own story sequence. Will the Final Order Hall trait affect only AP or other world class as well? The Final Order Hall research trait that you can do once you unlock it is that basically you get additional artifact power from completing artifact power quests. So they were asking either do you get artifact power when you do other quests like a resource quest? Do you still get artifact power from that, or do you get extra resources? And basically, artifact power, only the artifact power quests will give you additional artifact power. They asked about pet battle dungeons. That's just based on the community. If they want them, they'll put more in. And the followers eye level cap, will that be raised? Yes, they'll be raised to 900 eye level from 860. That's about it. As I said, the most important news was that the patch is going to be released next week. So, as always, everyone, have a good one.